Oh man, that video I put out over the weekend stirred up a lot of controversy, and I want to talk about it today. Listen, if we haven't met yet, my name is Ted and I talk bass. This channel is primarily a bass guitar tutorial channel. However, Prince, and any look around here for any length of time will show you that Prince is probably the most influential artist to me, and the artist that means the most to me. However, Prince is also a human being, and his work and stories around him are worth examining. Having said that, some people thought that I was hating on Prince, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I made 3 points in that video, and one, I can understand how some people, as I look back, I can understand how some people might think that I was hating. I wasn't, and I would never. But I will examine stories around him, and the video and the comments that followed really brought up some questions for me that I want to pose to you. One of those questions is, when does an object become a musical instrument? Stick around, really watch the video, think about your responses. I'm really inviting you to respond in the comments below, respectfully. Some of y'all got out of pocket in the last one using profanity and things like that. We don't really do that around here. So instead of engaging with those things, I'm going to delete them. So I invite the dialogue, the respectful dialogue, down in the comment section below. So like I said, when does an object become a musical instrument? Or when do we combine instrument families, instrument types, and when do we say that they're two different things? For instance, let's take a Rhodes keyboard, a Rhodes, a clavinet, or a Minimoog. Those are all different variations of the same instrument, a keyboard instrument. Now, we can split hairs and we can say that a piano is a member of the keyboard family and a member of the percussion family because of the way that the strings are struck by hammers, splitting hairs. But a piano versus a Hammond, now those are, I would call those two different instruments. The sustain, the touch, the techniques used in both of those things is different. Can piano players play organ? Can organ players play piano? Right? I know some piano players that maybe don't play organ that well, but I know organ players who are adept at piano. I'll take myself for example. I'm a bass player. I play primarily electric bass. In college, I played upright bass. And I played upright bass semi-professionally, but mostly electric bass. My career has been electric bass. If somebody asked me today, you know, hey man, I need a bass player for a gig, do you play upright? Well, I wouldn't readily say that I play upright. Electric bass and upright bass serve the same role. They're in the same frequency, but in my view, they are two different instruments that are played completely differently. And if you're a bass player who has played upright and electric, you tell me, what's your opinion that when you switched from electric to upright or the other way around, did you think that they were the same instrument or no? And your opinion, your view, your experience is valid. By the way, if you are a bass player who is struggling still to learn the notes on your instrument, I want you to check out Bass Note Master. That's linked below. It's an interactive fretboard trainer that's got gamification and step-by-step lessons that are going to help you learn the notes on your fretboard, arpeggios, and all that good stuff in less time than you think. That's linked below. Now, while that video was blowing up over the weekend, I saw this clip. Now you tell me, is that empty soda bottle a musical instrument? We can certainly call the person playing it a musician, but would we see an empty soda bottle on the street and say that's an instrument? Now, history is full of instances like this where everyday objects are turned into instruments. Spoons in folk music, trash can lids in marching bands, and hip hop turned the turntable from a playback device into an instrument. or did it? And I ask that because the same people I've seen stand on business and call some of the instruments that Prince is credited for playing on his debut album, you'll call a slapstick an instrument, and technically it is, right? Depending on what you do with it. But those same people will say that DJs aren't musicians. But by those metrics, wouldn't they be? I don't know. The logic doesn't hold up to me as I think about it right now. The logic doesn't hold up. So again, I invite you to leave your comments down below. Remember, I want you to be respectful to me, my platform, and also the other people in the comment section. So this is where the truth and myth blur. If you count every clap, every snap, every percussion instrument, every keyboard variation, then yes, technically and factually, Prince played 27 instruments on his debut album. That's a fact, if we're splitting hairs. But if another artist did the same exact thing, would you really say that they actively played 27 instruments? Or could we admit that that's a little bit of a stretch? Or wordsmithing, or myth making, or brilliant marketing? And here's another curveball I want to throw at you. If spoons became instruments, if turntables became instruments, some people would even call laptops instruments. At what point do we say that people who use AI and are decent prompt engineers, at what point do we call them musicians? I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that if we start really splitting hairs, then we open up a bigger conversation. And I get no prizes for being right. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. So there's a question. At what point do we call an object an instrument? At what point do we call a process musicianship? Certainly, if a non-musician creates a prompt, they're going to get something that resembles music. But if a musician who knows how music works types in a prompt, they're also going to create music, but that music is going to be slightly better. And that opens up a whole nother can of worms, because what is good and bad, what's better or worse, is entirely subjective. So when do we call an object an instrument, or even a process musicianship? Drop your thoughts and your comments below. Remember, I'm asking you, because the last comment section got a little bit out of hand. I'm gonna ask you to be respectful of me and be respectful of other people in the comments, even if you don't agree. Disagreeing is completely fine. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell for notifications, especially if you're a bass player. Again, this is primarily a bass guitar tutorial channel, so that's the main content pillar here. Hit that subscribe button. If you're just looking for Prince content, this isn't really gonna be a spot for you unless you're a musician. I welcome you here, but this is primarily a bass channel. I need to put that out there. Remember, it ain't rocket science, it's pocket science. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Peace, two fingers.